digital side. I'm just wondering what you both think sets you apart from the rest of your competitors in the tournament.
Me to take that one?
Yeah, you go for that one, man.
For me, I think it's my passion, aggression and fire. I don't think I've ever been in a ring with anyone who has the same sort of, just that emotion as I do. And sometimes it could be a good thing, sometimes it could be a bad thing, but I just think it always creates something special. So.
I'm super competitive. I always have been since I was young. Through martial arts and everything like that, super competitive. But I don't think anybody is as intense as I am. So it's funny that you say that. So yeah.
John Jackson from Talksport. Let's talk about the venue. Obviously, it's a very prestigious venue here. First round, complete opposite. You've got a crowd that aren't necessarily there to see wrestling. They may have stumbled across it, having watched Guns N' Roses. How different is this going to be to that first round when you sort of step out into a royal building?
I love Guns N' Roses, by the way, so that's good. I don't know, like I'm very excited about it, and I hope that whether it's the first time they've seen me or not, they're going to get behind like a competitor like me. So.
I don't know. I think it's always a weird thing. The same pressures are always there, whether there's 10 people watching who've never seen wrestling before, or it's a building pack like this is hopefully going to be. You know, of people who may know Trav and may not know me, or may know me and may not know him. And I think the pressure's always the same, but I've got a feeling the atmosphere is going to be something special. Like everyone, the whole crowd knows that they're a part of something special and something huge starting here now. So they feel as much a part of it as we do. So when you've got them cheering you on at the same time, it just lets you hit someone that much harder. So I'll apologise in advance.
That's fine. That's fine.
Thank you.
James from Gorilla Position. You talk about the pressure performing here at this prestigious venue, the Royal Albert Hall. What does it mean to you personally to be part of this show? The first time WWE have run a show here for over 20 years.
When I was a little kid, you always hear about the Royal Albert Hall and how so many amazing performers have been here and stuff like that. And you always think like, oh, how awesome would it be to be a part of that in some form? And obviously from then to now, like thinking it would be professional wrestling or sports entertainment is pretty crazy for me. My journey's been pretty crazy. Like I came to the UK like 3 years ago, and to think that this would be like where I was headed is surreal. So there's a lot of pressure, yes, but I'm used to it. I like to think I'm a big match wrestler, so the pressure's going to be good, and I'm very excited about this match.
For me, I think it's incredible alone to be in WWE. As soon as you see your name next to those three initials, it's always amazing. But the fact that we actually get to do it in, well, my home country, anyway, it just gives you that extra special feeling. It's something we could be proud of, because, you know, when I was first coming in, it was to go to WWE, it was going to be in America. But I think our fans over here in England, they're so amazing now that the whole world takes notice, and, you know, we can run our own strong band here. And what more of an iconic venue than to do it at the Royal Albert Hall, and, you know, to be the first guys competing in this building for WWE since I think it was like 20 years or something like that. It's an incredible feeling. And you know, you've got a country on your back, because, you know, the fans want to see it succeed, we want to see it succeed, WWE wants to see it succeed. So I think everyone, not just me, not just Trav, all of us are going to be giving our absolute best and give this venue the performance it deserves.
Kenny from the Daily Record. I've got a question for each of you, but for you first, Ashton. So in the first round, everybody was calling your win over Joseph Connors an upset, because Joseph Connors was one of the first guys came out in the UK brand. How do you feel about that? Like the fact that people were calling you beating him an upset, and does that give you a point to prove in this tournament?
I think it's an excellent question, by the way, because not a lot of people realise that I've actually been wrestling for 15 years. And I think it was maybe something that Nigel said, that Collins is the more experienced guy, but he's not. I was wrestling before Joe, and not a lot of people know that. So for me, as you said, it gives you that extra edge, and it's just something to prove. Me personally, I like being the underdog. If you don't put no pressure on me, then, you know, it just gives me that fire to prove you wrong. If nobody believes I'm going to win, I mean, it's probably going to be the same against you, but if nobody else believes I'm going to win, I do, and that's the only thing that matters to me.
And Trav, for you, you know, you've got a really great journey story about how you got here, and a lot of people maybe don't realise how much you've had to go through to get to this point. Can you just talk a little bit about getting to this point where you're now in the UK tournament?
Oh wow, how long do we have? No, as I've said before, very humble beginnings. I started under a con man, essentially. I lived in a train carriage, but I thought that was just sports entertainment and how you get into the business. Probably stupidly on my behalf, but I just thought it was always for the greater good, and everything was going to add to my character in the end. I've been through a lot. So from there, I then went to Japan, and I trained in Japan. Spent 3 months under Masato Tanaka of ECW fame. And then from there, I went to the States for a tour, flew myself out, and then I moved here. I just upped everything and moved here, and I've been here for the last 3 years. When I very first got here, had nothing, no bookings, no shows to be on. I just got into a van with some local wrestlers, and I just set out and try to show my face around and just prove to everybody that I was worth having on their shows. And so that was 3 years ago, and then the last 3 years have just been surreal, and this is so everything that's happened, like the train carriage, the trip to Japan and the States and flying myself out, everything has culminated in this. So it's perfect. It's pretty much a Cinderella story, so to speak.
Looking ahead, if you win the tournament and you go on to win the title from Pete Dunne, what could you do to elevate that title like he hasn't in the past year?
You want me to take this?
Here you go, man.
Me, I think, not to be too cocky, but I think I've got more of a handsome face than Pete Dunne, so I like to think I'm going to bring it to more of a mainstream audience. I think, you know, put me in front of a camera, I'm more than comfortable. So I want to just take it to the next level, as all of us do. You know, Pete's an incredible wrestler, and at the moment he is #1 in Britain. So everyone's aiming for that spot, but I think I could take it to the next level beyond that without a shadow of a doubt.
I don't think a lot of people know this, but I've actually beaten Pete Dunne for 2 major titles before in the UK. So I have a little bit of experience with that. If I win it, obviously I'm from New Zealand, and I think we could open a good market in New Zealand or Australia or that side of the world with me as the champion. So.
Well, I'm Jamaican, so we could maybe go there too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The world, so yeah.
That touches on my next question. So obviously, I was going to say to Trav, if you win, obviously you become the first non-UK Championship holder. Do you think that's going to generate a lot of heat on you? Because obviously it's the UK Championship. And also, Ashton, what are your thoughts on this matter? And I mean, obviously, if you want to represent Jamaica, the same question to you.
For me, as far as Trav goes, I'm half English, half Jamaican, so I don't think I have the same sort of heat that maybe that you picked up from a minute amount of people. But you know, it's if Trav chooses to come over here because he knows that this is the scene and where to make it. He's been living over here. He's been busting his behind off. I don't know how far we could push length, so I'll say behind. If he's been busting his behind, he's been elevating the scene himself. Like, I don't want to give him too much compliments because I'm going to be hitting him in the face a little later on, but you know, he's worked twice as hard as everyone but myself. So why shouldn't he have the same opportunity to do his own country proud and also represent England at the same time? As long as English passion's in his heart, then I open him a welcome arm.
He pretty much said everything that I was about to say, but yeah, exactly. I have experienced some heat, so to speak, from the general public, but hey, I guess if you're in that position, it's gonna come. So as I said, just water off a duck's back for me. I just do what I always do, and that's compete. So yeah, there's no worries for me. So yeah.
As is always the case with these UK shows and NXT and the like, this huge fan expectation for the in-ring action, and a lot is made of stealing the show. How do you two plan on stealing the show tonight?
I don't know. I as I said before, I always feel like I'm a big fight performer. I always try and give my best, like 100% all the time. Anytime I ever step in the ring, and I'm sure Ashton's the same. We just give our best, and I would hope the fans appreciate the performance we will give.
See, I've got a slightly different opinion on stealing the show. For me, I think some guys take it as you almost have to damn near kill yourself just to steal the show. So, like, oh my God, that guy's lost his mind. But for me, if I can make an emotional connection with the audience and they can get behind me and genuinely feel like I want to win and this match is important and who wins they really care about, for me, that's stealing the show. It's just emotion, and that's it.
Thank you.
So before you guys were here, we spoke to Joe Coffey and Dave Mastiff, and you two are very nice. You've both called yourself handsome as well, gentlemen, and they've basically said they are the quarterfinal, and whichever one of you wins goes on to face whoever wins out of that match. And they've alluded to the fact that once they get through, it could be an easy road to the final. So how do you guys kind of take that when it's like once you get past one another, you need to deal with one of them?
I think both of those guys need to realise of who they're talking about when it comes to Ashton or myself. I'm a champion in the UK indie scene, and to say a throwaway comment like that, it seems pretty petty. I think they need to take it a little bit more seriously when they think of it like that way. So.
I'm going to make a prediction here that the winner of the UK tournament is sitting at this table, and whoever comes through in this match is going to go all the way and take the whole thing home.
Thanks guys, we're at the